Imagine this. You're in your own home, a place where safety feels certain. But in the summer of 1969, behind the golden glow of Hollywood glamour, evil walked straight through the door. What unfolded over 2 nights shocked America, shattered its sense of peace, and turned one man's twisted cult into a symbol of pure terror. This is the chilling story of the Manson family murders. The late 1960s was a time of cultural revolution. Hippies preached peace, love, and freedom. Music festivals drew hundreds of thousands. Hollywood was thriving, and stars seemed untouchable. But beneath the surface, a dark figure was gathering followers in the California desert. His name was Charles Manson, a failed musician with a magnetic personality. To his family of lost souls, he wasn't just a leader, he was a prophet. Manson convinced his followers that the world was on the brink of an apocalyptic race war he called Helter Skelter. Borrowing from Beatles' lyrics and his own delusions, he preached that violence could spark the chaos that would bring about his vision of a new world, with him as its ruler. To his followers, every command was law. And soon, Manson ordered them to kill. On the night of August 8, 1969, 4 members of the Manson family, Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian, drove to a house in Los Angeles. That home belonged to actress Sharon Tate, 8 months pregnant and married to director Roman Polanski. Inside were Tate and her friends. What happened next was a nightmare that defied imagination. The intruders cut the phone lines and slipped inside. In the chaos, they brutally murdered 5 people: Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent, who had simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Blood was smeared across the walls. The word "pig" was scrawled in Sharon Tate's blood. Hollywood's golden dream had turned into a house of horrors. The very next night, Manson himself joined in. He led his followers to the home of supermarket executive Leno LaBianca and his wife, Rosemary. Again, they struck with savage cruelty. The victims were tied, stabbed, and mutilated. Messages like "Death to pigs" were left behind, meant to fuel fear and chaos. 2 nights. 7 murders. A city paralyzed by terror. Los Angeles descended into panic. Were the rich and famous being hunted? Would the killers strike again? For months, the murders remained unsolved. Rumors swirled. Fear gripped the nation. And when police finally arrested Charles Manson and his family, the world struggled to understand. How could young, seemingly ordinary people be turned into ruthless killers? The trial revealed the disturbing power of Manson's manipulation. His followers defended him with eerie devotion, even as the horrific details of their crimes played out in court. The Manson murders weren't just crimes, they were a cultural rupture. They marked the end of the idealistic 1960s, when peace and love were replaced with fear and mistrust. Sharon Tate became a tragic symbol of lost innocence. Charles Manson became a global symbol of evil, his name synonymous with manipulation, violence, and cult obsession. And to this day, the story continues to disturb because it wasn't committed by monsters from legend, but by ordinary people under the control of a man who thrived on chaos. The Manson murders force us to ask uncomfortable questions. How far can the influence of one person go? How can belief twist into blind devotion? And most haunting of all, could something like this happen again? Because evil doesn't always come with a warning. Sometimes it walks through the door when you least expect it.